Hello again, and welcome. My name is Stephen Hawking, a physicist, an explorer of space, and above all, a dreamer, though I cannot walk, and I speak through a computer. My mind still soars, far beyond the stars. I have always been driven by one great curiosity. Are we alone in this universe? Are there really alien creatures out there? If they exist, where can they be found? What do they look like? Why are they here? Were they created or evolved? And if we ever meet them, what would their attitude toward human beings be? Wherever I go, people ask me the same question. Do aliens really exist? It's a good question, because it helps us understand something much deeper. Our own place in the universe. Could it be that we are truly alone on this tiny blue ball, floating in endless darkness? Maybe not, because there's a very big reason to think otherwise. The universe is vast, immense, infinite. Our planet orbits the sun, just like 8 other planets in our solar system. It doesn't seem very special, because it's only one planet orbiting one of the 200 billion stars that make up our galaxy, the Milky Way. Even that galaxy, massive beyond imagination, is just a drop in an endless cosmic ocean. Ours is only one among 100 billion galaxies, stretched across the fabric of space in every direction. The universe is so huge that every point of light you see in the night sky is itself a star system, perhaps with planets of its own. And when we see our small, fragile Earth among them, it's hard to believe we're the only life that exists. My mathematical mind couldn't resist. I began to calculate, and even through numbers alone, I started to see the possibility of alien life as real. But then came a harder question. If such beings exist so far away from our world, what would they be like? Finding the answer was a great challenge. The possibilities were endless, and endlessly fascinating. Alien life might not look anything like us. Maybe it's a sticky, green, jelly-like creature, something that doesn't seem very important at first glance, but could be far more extraordinary than it appears. Strange, perhaps even frightening, but that's where our search must begin. The universe is so vast that it's hard not to imagine that other intelligent life, or even entire civilizations, might have evolved somewhere out there, just like the ones we see in science fiction movies. Star Wars, Star Trek, worlds I love and which I believe might not be too far from the truth. Perhaps something like that really does exist. But when we think about it more closely, maybe the truth is stranger still. Maybe the beings we seek don't even fit our definition of life. Perhaps there are unique forms of existence within the stars themselves, massive colonies of microscopic organisms that we mistake for clouds of cosmic dust. Maybe their lives are so brief that they begin and end in the blink of an eye. In a universe this vast, with endless possibilities, one question remains. Where should we begin our search? And more importantly, where should we look? The answer is right where we started, here, at home, because this is the one place where we know life exists. The laws of physics are the same everywhere, so life too should follow similar patterns, even if it takes different forms. On Earth, we can use life itself as our guide, a field manual for alien hunters. To understand what we're looking for, we must first understand what life is and how it works, wherever it appears. To begin this search, we have to go back in time about 4.5 billion years to when Earth was new. How did life start here? That mystery still hasn't been solved, but there are many theories. The most common idea is that life began with chemicals called amino acids, forming by chance in the early muddy waters of our planet. For millions of years, these particles may have collided, merged, and mixed until something remarkable happened. The spark of life began. It's hard to believe that life could start completely on its own, but we can't rule it out either. It's like winning the lottery. Improbable, but not impossible. After all, someone wins every week. There's another fascinating theory called panspermia. It suggests that life might not have started on Earth at all, but came here from somewhere else. Maybe, on some distant world, tiny living microbes were trapped inside rocks or asteroids, frozen and hurled through space, surviving the extreme cold, radiation, and vacuum of the cosmos. And perhaps those rocks eventually crashed into Earth, carrying the seeds of life with them. If that happened, it could still be happening today, with planets silently exchanging the building blocks of life, one collision at a time. Whichever theory is true, the real story begins when life learned to survive. When the next chapter was written, the story of struggle, evolution, and survival itself. This is my struggle to live. A struggle that connects you, me, and perhaps even alien life itself. Because in that struggle, a new rule was written. One that defines all living things. To survive, we need energy. We call it food. Without it, life ends. Every organism must feed, grow, and reproduce. making copies of itself before it dies. Yet even when one life ends, the process continues. That is how evolution began. If alien beings exist, they too must have evolved, forming into living creatures of their own, perhaps in forms far stranger than we can imagine. Our next step in the search for alien life is to find those worlds where living beings could find energy, where they could feed, grow, and evolve. And as far as we know, one thing is vital for that to happen: water. Like most people, I find water beautiful, mysterious, essential. But beyond beauty, it's something far more important. It's the key ingredient for life. From bacteria to blue whales, every known form of life depends on it. So if we find water somewhere else in the universe, we might also find alien life nearby. And the good news? Water is everywhere. Across the cosmos, it appears in many forms, frozen as tiny crystals of ice or gathered into massive mountains of frozen meteorites. But what we truly need to find is liquid water, the kind that can support life as we know it. Every star has a region around it where temperatures are just right, not too hot, not too cold. Scientists call this the Goldilocks zone. Around our sun, 2 planets lie within that zone, Earth and Mars. That's why I believe that one day humanity will reach Mars. We've been sending robots there since the 1970s, machines exploring a cold, dusty world, still searching for the faintest signs of life. So far they haven't found it, but we must not give up. NASA's Spirit rover once found traces of white salt beneath the Martian surface, salt that could only have formed through contact with liquid water. Satellite images show ancient riverbeds, channels, and patterns carved by oceans that once flowed there. It's possible that beneath Mars's barren crust, there's still moisture, hidden reserves that could sustain living organisms even today. I believe that one day humans will walk on Mars. That mission would capture the world's imagination, just as the Apollo missions did in the 1960s. And if they're lucky, if they find even a single living microorganism on that planet, it would be the greatest discovery in the history of humankind. But Mars isn't the only place that could hold water. There are other worlds out there, smaller, stranger, but just as promising. One of them lies about 50 million kilometers from Mars, a small, mysterious moon orbiting Jupiter. Its name is Europa. Europa is tiny, less than 3,000 kilometers wide, but it's an incredible place. Its surface is unimaginably cold, about minus 162 degrees Celsius, covered entirely in thick layers of ice nearly 24 kilometers deep. Yet beneath that frozen shell, there may be heat. Europa orbits Jupiter every 3.5 days, along an elliptical path. The giant planet's immense gravity constantly pulls and flexes Europa, stretching and squeezing it again and again, like kneading soft clay. That motion creates friction and heat. Enough heat, perhaps, to melt the ice from below and form a vast ocean hidden beneath the surface. An ocean protected by a solid crust of ice, safe from the deadly vacuum of space above. If that's true, then Europa may already be alive. Beneath its frozen plains, alien creatures could be swimming in its dark oceans, life forms that evolved in complete isolation, deep within a world sealed off for billions of years. We can even imagine what they might look like. Perhaps they resemble Earth's sea creatures, drifting in the blackness, glowing softly with bioluminescent light, creating their own illumination with chemical reactions. Maybe they swim together in schools, moving like silver threads through an eternal night. But even if such creatures exist within Europa's hidden seas, I doubt they'll ever reach us. Those poor beings might live and die beneath 24 kilometers of ice, never knowing that a vast universe exists beyond their frozen world. To find them, we'd have to send an expedition there, a mission even more dangerous and expensive than the journey to Mars. But one day, I believe we will. And when we do, the secrets of Europa may finally be revealed. For now, it's best that we begin our exploration of alien life from a wider point of view, seeing the bigger picture of what life truly means across the endless universe. To continue our search for life, we must journey far beyond our solar system, out into the endless, infinite expanse of space. All around us, the universe glows with countless stars. Yet, until just a few decades ago, we had no idea how many of those stars might have planets orbiting them. And even if they did, how could we possibly know whether life existed on any of them? Detecting such distant worlds is incredibly difficult. Stars are enormous, blinding in their brilliance, while the planets orbiting them are tiny and faint. Finding them requires technology of extraordinary precision. In Hawaii, there's a massive telescope known as the Keck Telescope, with twin mirrors each 10 meters wide, the most powerful ever built on Earth. Yet even that telescope cannot directly see most distant planets. Instead, it watches for signs, the subtle movements of stars that reveal something unseen tugging on them. It's a bit like watching a baseball pitcher wind up and throw the ball. As the pitcher spins, the ball's weight pulls ever so slightly on his body. In space, the same thing happens. When a planet orbits a star, its gravity tugs gently on the star, causing the star to wobble, to shift slightly in its position. Sometimes, when a planet passes directly between its star and us, the star's light dims. It flickers for just a moment. By measuring these faint, rhythmic dips in brightness, scientists can tell how close that planet is to its star, and whether it lies within the Goldilocks zone, where conditions might be just right for life. The first such planet was discovered in 1995. Since then, hundreds more have been found, each one orbiting a distant sun. It was one of the greatest discoveries in human history. And as more planets were discovered, we began to realize something extraordinary. Some of them are rocky, Earth-like worlds. Some have water, and on at least a few of them, life may already have begun. If evolution works anywhere near as powerfully as it does on Earth, then perhaps the creatures there aren't so different from us, even if their appearances are strange. Those alien beings, too, would need energy, a way to eat. They might have something like a mouth, a structure to take in food, and if they live on solid ground, they would need limbs, legs or something like them to move across the surface. Perhaps their bodies look nothing like ours, but certain principles of life are universal. If they must walk, they will need support. If they must see, they will have eyes. On Earth, prey animals have eyes on the sides of their heads to watch for predators. Predators, by contrast, have eyes facing forward to judge distance and strike accurately. Even if a hunter were alien, those same rules of evolution would still apply. Forward-facing eyes, for focus. Side eyes, for survival. Evolution is universal, and its power is beyond our imagination. Even alien creatures, no matter how strange, would live under its rule. Struggling, fighting, adapting, surviving. Yes, evolution itself may be limitless, but perhaps life is not confined to Earth-like worlds or hidden oceans beneath ice. It might exist in far stranger places, in environments utterly unlike anything we've ever known. Out there, beyond the reach of sunlight, could be life forms that defy everything we understand. Creatures that aren't like us in any way, and yet still alive. I like to think of myself as an optimist. Our universe is so vast, so truly infinite, that within its endless web of galaxies, there must be other forms of life. Perhaps some have followed a completely different path of evolution. Perhaps some have learned to survive without water, depending instead on other chemicals. One such possibility is nitrogen, a gas here on Earth, but a liquid in colder worlds at about minus 196 degrees Celsius. Could there be a world with oceans of liquid nitrogen? A world of frozen shores where life has adapted to unimaginable cold? Temperatures that would kill a human in seconds? If such creatures exist, their chemistry would be utterly alien to ours. They might live on combinations of elements that would poison us, yet keep them alive. Consider what makes up the human body. About 30 liters of water, roughly 1 kilogram of phosphorus, 250 grams of salt, enough iron to make a single nail, and around 1.5 kilograms of lime. There are also 15 trace elements, and all of these could exist in alien organisms, just arranged differently. We humans are also built from carbon, about 22 kilograms of it. But what if instead of carbon, alien life used silicon as its base? Silicon behaves much like carbon, but has slightly different properties. If the right conditions exist, life built on silicon could survive even in extreme cold, perhaps moving more slowly with less energy, but still alive. And that's not the only possibility. Astronomers studying distant planets have found that some are made entirely of gas. Enormous worlds like Jupiter and Saturn. Could life exist there too? Perhaps, in a form we can't even imagine. Alien organisms made of gas itself, drifting, feeding, surviving within endless clouds. Because even in such places, life might still find a way. It's possible? I think they might be drawing energy from the lightning that endlessly strikes their strange, stormy worlds. If such creatures can exist, then perhaps life elsewhere in the universe isn't such a miracle after all. There are countless planets out there, not just those circling stars within the so-called Goldilocks zone, but far beyond it. And the more we look, the more it seems that life might not be rare at all. It might be everywhere. But here's the truth, what really matters isn't what alien beings are made of, it's what they can do. Do they think about the universe the way we do? Do they wonder about its secrets, its origins, its purpose? Could there be beings out there who have evolved into intelligent, conscious minds just like us? If intelligent life truly exists somewhere out there, drifting through the cosmos, then surely some of them would be curious about us, humans, even if only out of simple wonder. People have believed for decades that aliens might have already come close, that they visited or at least watched us from afar. I remember back in the 1950s when I was still a student. That's when stories of alien attacks began circulating. Movies portrayed the same tale over and over, a lone traveler driving down a dark, deserted road at night, losing his way, and encountering something otherworldly. I always question those stories. Think about it from the alien's point of view. Why would a being travel across such immense distances through space, only to appear before one random human on some lonely highway? If extraterrestrials truly did come to Earth, it wouldn't be a secret for long. The news would explode worldwide, headlines in every language, every nation. And if governments tried to hide it, the effort required to conceal such a truth would be unimaginable. The fact that we haven't yet made contact, that's what puzzles scientists the most. Where is everyone? For over 40 years we've been listening, scanning the heavens for signals, whispers, any hint of intelligent life. But in all that time, we've heard almost nothing. Almost. Because once, there was something. A single mysterious signal detected on August 16, 1977. A radio telescope in Ohio picked it up. As the Earth rotated and the telescope scanned the sky, it caught a strange burst of sound, just once. The astronomers who saw it couldn't believe it. They called it the WOW signal, a moment that has since become legendary in the search for extraterrestrial life. It wasn't just random noise. It stood out from the static that fills space, precise, structured, and powerful. The signal was captured as a series of numbers and letters, and beside them, astronomer Jerry Amon simply wrote one word in the margin: WOW. He and his team returned to that same spot in the sky again and again, but they never heard it again. The WOW signal had vanished. After that strange and unforgettable event, one thing became clear. Making contact with another civilization is far harder than we ever imagined. Messages traveling across the vast emptiness of space take time. Unimaginable time. That signal came from a constellation roughly 200 light-years away. That means it took 200 years just to reach us. And if we sent a reply, it wouldn't reach them for another 200 years. By then, whoever sent it would probably be gone, or have forgotten they ever sent it at all. Maybe that's why we haven't heard from anyone else. Maybe civilizations rise and then destroy themselves before we ever hear their voice. We humans discovered the power of the atomic bomb in a single century. If intelligent aliens discovered something equally dangerous, maybe they couldn't survive their own progress either. It takes billions of years for a civilization to evolve and just one night to end. Maybe that's why we only hear silence. Still, there's hope. Perhaps some advanced beings learn to survive, to escape destruction. Maybe they've left their home planets and now live among the stars, drifting through space, building their own worlds. When it comes to finding intelligent life, we humans have only two choices. We can listen for their signals, or we can take the risk and send out our own messages into the dark, hoping someone hears us. But that could be dangerous. Before we reach out, we need to ask, what kind of civilization would answer? If we look at ourselves, we can imagine them. Maybe these beings have also mastered evolution, reshaping themselves, controlling their biology. Perhaps they no longer age. Maybe they've become immortal. It sounds impossible, but think about it. Their technology would be as far beyond ours as a spaceship is beyond a cave. They might have harnessed every resource of their planet, drained it dry, and now search the galaxy for more, for new worlds, for raw materials to keep moving forward. Who knows how far they've gone? Maybe they've reached a level of power that lets them capture energy not just from stars, but from entire solar systems. Imagine it. Millions of mirrors floating in space, circling a sun, collecting its light and channeling it to one central point. With that much energy, they could bend the fabric of space itself, creating something like a wormhole, a shortcut through the universe, a doorway that allows them to travel vast distances in the blink of an eye. Perhaps they've evolved beyond flesh, beyond need, using everything in their reach to survive. But if they ever came to Earth, the result might mirror what happened when Christopher Columbus reached America. The natives weren't prepared, and it didn't end well for them. That's the danger of meeting a civilization far more advanced than our own. Still, I believe there are worlds out there, places where the right conditions, the right chemistry could allow life to begin. Worlds where evolution has shaped beings in forms we can't even imagine. In this infinite universe, anything is possible. And maybe, somewhere out there, someone is watching us right now, wondering the same thing. All we can hope is that if they ever find us, they come not as conquerors, but as friends,